Hey guys, so many of you all reached out to me about whether the UK is a good place in order to live and work as a healthcare professional and what is the minimum level of experience that you need. Now, in today's video, I will be sharing why the UK is not a good place for you, especially if you are somebody who is a fresher in the fields of health and care. And if you have any questions about it, please don't forget to leave them in the comments below. But like I've said before, do follow me on Instagram. My handle is Physiotherapy in UK, and drop me a subscribe if you want to be a health and care professional in anywhere or across the entire globe, because I make videos about it and I release them on a weekly basis. Again, if you have any queries about being a healthcare professional, whether in the UK or anywhere else, do leave them in the comments below and I will try to get back to them. So let's talk about why the UK is not a right fit for you anymore as a healthcare professional. One of the first reasons that I want to talk about is obviously the increased salary thresholds. So as many of you all know, most of the health and care workers came under a special visa category known as the health and care visa. Now, what was beautiful about this category is that if you qualified as a particular healthcare profession under this visa, you needed to have a very low salary threshold in order to apply for your work visa, because in order to apply for your work visa, you need to meet a minimum sort of 70-point threshold while making your work visa application. Now, again, if you have questions about it or are confused about what I am saying, don't forget to check out this video, which has all of the information that you would need about the skilled worker visa and the health and care worker visa. But just thinking about it, let me just share a screenshot with you right here. So as you can see over there, the health and care worker visa occupations, including care workers and senior care workers, are on the immigration salary list. And the salary threshold is set at 23,200 or the occupation specific threshold, whichever is higher. So all that means is that you need to be getting a higher salary than 23,200, which used to be 20,000. Now again, if you come as a band 5 or a band 6, you will not be worried about this because your salaries are going to be 28,000 or 33,000 or 35,000. So again, you're not worried about it. However, if you are a fresher who is planning to come to the UK, or if you are somebody who is a student in the UK and is looking for band 3 jobs, then you might not meet these thresholds and will find it hard to land a sponsored job in the UK. The second reason why it's getting really hard for healthcare professionals to land jobs as freshers is because in the current market, I think the number of job applications being made has almost doubled over the last 3 years. So say in the past, if 5 people were applying for a single job, right now we can see nearly 20 people applying for the same job. Now what that means for you is that it's putting your application as lower chances of being selected or shortlisted for the interview. Now again, I am not saying that this is happening all over the UK or this is happening only in London. These are just some average statistics that are being put out there in the current job market in the UK. And one of the biggest reasons for it is because there have been higher number of international HCPC applications, which just means that there are more of you guys trying to come to the UK at the minute and have got your HCPC registration, which is brilliant. However, like I've said, this reduces your chances of being shortlisted. And that being said, it reduces your chances of landing a role in the UK. Now, again, I'm not meant to be putting off anybody. And if you feel that UK is the right place for you, do feel free to go ahead, make really good and strong job applications, write up a really good supporting information section, and strengthen your application further, because that will help you to then get shortlisted for interviews. And again, if you need help with it, feel free to book a one-to-one session with me. I can go through all of the application that you have till now, give you useful feedback and recommendations on how you can update it for UK standards, because remember that the person shortlisting your application is somebody from UK, and a CV that you might have used in India or Pakistan might not be the most appropriate. The third reason why it is obviously harder to land a job in the UK and maintain living in the UK as a fresher is because of the higher costs of living and the rising inflation generally. So again, if you followed any of my videos in the past, you would know that the inflation is slowly but steadily coming down. However, just from my experience of being here for the last 3 years, we have noticed that the costs of living have just shot up and it is not coming down despite inflation trying to sort of trigger its way lower down. So for example, my monthly expenses used to be around, £150 for groceries, but right now that's almost gone to £200 or £250 per month, which is not cheap. And remember that my salary in these last 3 years has not gone up that significantly. Now again, I know that everybody is obviously looking forward to that pay rise within the NHS, which is a 5.5% pay rise, which I think is super brilliant. And again, if you want me to make a video about it, do let me know in the comments below. But again, like I said, I feel like the salaries are not really keeping up with any of the high costs of inflation. And again, if you are a fresher and if you have your HCPC registration, the most likely chances that you will be on a band 5 salary, which again is 28,000. And again, if that's just a single person, you might still be able to manage it. However, if it is a family, it's going to be really hard for you to save money on top of managing all of your costs. And therefore, this is something I recommend you should consider before moving to the UK. Now, the next reason why it's getting really hard to land sponsorship roles within the UK is, again, if you have followed any of my previous videos, you would know that the UK government is obviously planning on upskilling all of the people who are based in the UK, so that they are born and raised in the UK. So for example, we've obviously known that the UK had massive staff shortages for the NHS across several healthcare professions, and at one point it reached a peak of nearly 10% of the vacancies being unfulfilled, which meant that they were really interested in recruiting international staff. However, right now the UK government is making a plan to obviously upskill and train all of the local people over here to take on these roles, which means that eventually there might be a slight drop in recruitment. And this just means that obviously the number of jobs being released to international candidates will go down, because as a rule of thumb, if an employer is able to recruit a UK citizen or somebody who doesn't need a work visa, then they will not offer a candidate sponsorship for that particular role, even if that candidate is really good, because they found somebody who can fulfill all of the roles and responsibilities of that particular job locally. Now, I know this can be super disheartening for many of you guys out there, but this was just a bit of a reality check, because again, I don't want to paint a rosy picture, and you should know that the harsh reality within the UK right now is that if you are an internationally trained healthcare profession with low experience in your clinical field, then maybe it's going to be really hard for you to land a sponsored job in the UK, and there is nothing you can do about it. So my advice to you would be, please stay back in your home country, gain experience in fields that you are keen on, that you are interested in. So say for example, if you want to do musculoskeletal physiotherapy, gain some experience in that. If you want to do mental health OT, gain some experience in that, because that's what's going to help you to build your clinical skills, and that's what's going to help you to shortlist your applications with UK employers and land a job effectively. If you are somebody who is just out of your internship and wants to apply for UK jobs, maybe coming to the UK is not the best decision for you right now. So do yourself a favor, and if you've just completed your internship, go ahead and apply for your HCPC registration, because you don't need 1 or 2 years of experience to that. You can just apply for it with 6 months of internship, and following your 6 months of internship, start working somewhere. Doesn't matter if it's a government hospital, private hospital, clinic, or an NGO. Just start working, build up those clinical skills while you are doing your HCPC registration, because like we all know, HCPC registration can take about 3 to 6 months to even a year sometimes, and in all of that time of waiting around, you would have gained some really good valuable experience, which will help you to boost your CV, improve your skills, and potentially get shortlisted for jobs in the UK once you have your HCPC registration. So that being said, if you have any questions from today's video, guys, do leave them in the comments below and I will try to get back to them. But I hope you found this useful. Do subscribe. Take care.